Hello, this is Dave. Today, I'm going to do one of my occasional videos on things, matters that I believe need to be said, and not too many people are actually talking about these things, and a few, actually, nobody's talking about. And actually, we'll start off with that. Last time, well, one of the last times, I was referencing some of the activity in Zechariah chapter 1, where the prophet talks about four horns and four craftsmen. Um, the four horns that came to terrorize the Jewish people, or four ancient evil spirits. The four craftsmen, I have, since I first started thinking about it and reading Zechariah recently, I have come to understand to be uh, what I'm calling four craftsmen's anointings. The four craftsmen's anointing matches up, I think, well with what Paul teaches in Ephesians chapter 4 in reference to the fourfold ministry. Some people say fivefold. I think 4 or 5, it's okay, it's close. But the reality is the Greek supports four. And the four ancient evil spirits. These are four ancient evil spirits that Paul talks about. I think I may have mentioned this in the last one of the last videos. He speaks about in Ephesians 6, the verse that everybody knows. We do not battle against flesh and blood, but against, number one, principalities, plurals. There are multiple principalities. The second ancient evil spirit, or powers, or authorities. The actual Greek word is exousias, which is authority. That's the better translation. So there are multiple plurality of authorities. And then the third one is world powers or cosmic powers. That's also plural. That's the third one. And then the fourth one is evil or wickedness in high places. They're all in high places. They're all in the second heavens, the mid heavens, between heaven and earth. So these are the four ancient evil spirits that Zechariah, Zechariah 1, is referencing. I believe that. I didn't. That's not a teaching that I heard from somebody on the internet or anywhere. It wasn't a book that I read, and it was just kind of just one of those things that happen, I guess. And I believe it's correct. I believe it's correct. And so the question can be, well, so what? Well, the so what comes in if you're praying, and part of my presenting these videos is to encourage the 60 million out there who are unaffiliated with the church in any way. You're a believer in God. Hopefully, you're a believer in Jesus. And but for one reason or another, you're unaffiliated with some church. If you're affiliated with a church, you don't. This is really not intended for you. That doesn't mean you can't listen, but this is not intended for you. And my concern is for the 60, is probably more than 60 million people who have been in and out of the church. They got born again at some revival. They got saved one way or another, go to a church. They go in and out of churches, and they just don't fit. Okay, they are nonconformists maybe, or they don't feel that it's for them. They haven't, these people are not, just hasn't, the institutional thing has not worked out for them yet. And so, just as a reminder, my encouragement for those people, for you, is to form house churches, gather together with other unaffiliated people, and do church, fall into the will of God. And then you'll begin to see some of the traps, some of the concerns and the difficulties of being in a group. And when you form these groups, when you have disagreements, don't leave. Just hang out and just work it out. Just work it out. And again, that's my purpose for presenting these occasional videos. That's who I'm doing this for, and not only these kind of teaching videos. Now, again, in reference to Zechariah and Paul's teachings about the fourfold ministry, the four ancient evil spirits that he talks about in Ephesians, the point about that is intercessory prayer. Typically, the church does not talk much about intercessory prayer, or if it is talk, it's just talk. Tell you what to do. There are books. I haven't read any of them. And I actually didn't really start praying seriously until the beginning of the pandemic. And I didn't have an excuse not to pray. I mean, couldn't work, couldn't do nothing. It was shut down. So I just started praying more. And much of what has happened transpired over the last couple of years since the lockdown in the spring of 2020, a lot of what I'm talking about I've learned in that short period of time. And so I'm giving away what I know. And most of the stuff, it is known. This stuff about the four ancient evil spirits and the four craftsmen, I haven't seen that anywhere. And so you evaluate for yourself. If you don't like it, that's fine. And otherwise, you can pray according to whatever revelation the Lord gives you in reference to these materials. Now, the point, again, is spiritual warfare. Paul talks in Ephesians 6 about the armor of God. And, the breastplate, the helmet, the sword, the belt of truth, your feet shod in with the gospel of peace, the shield of faith, breastplate of righteousness, those pieces. And one that's always missed is the last one is prayer. That's one of the weapons, is prayer. And praying intercessory prayer in particular is important. Intercessory prayer being praying for people in your circle, praying for geographic areas within your circle of influence, and to start off with.